What's up, people? It's your boy Perfection back again. It has been a while. I have wanted to come back and do a few videos, but I did promise in the last video that I was going to do a video explaining to certain members of the LGTB, and I think there's a Q now, community, that some of them believe that they've had sex with a straight man and the man is still straight, and I'm here just to clear up some misconceptions about that. You know, I wasn't really going to do the video, but because I did say in my last video I was going to do it, then guess what? I'm a man of my word. If I say I'm going to do a video on something, then that's exactly what I'm going to do. The first thing I want to start off with is that I am not homophobic. Okay, this has nothing to do with an attack on homosexuals or members of the LGBTQ community. This is just clearing up a few things, because I think that there's some men out there that have had certain experiences with maybe transgender women or men, whatever term they want to class themselves as, and still believe that they're straight, and that's not entirely true. It's not true. And then there's other men out there that have kind of then been worn down, and they no longer have that kind of their spirit, their kind of, what word would I use to describe it, their essence of masculinity, their essence of that's the only term I can use to describe it. They're just broken. They're broken, and I'm going to explain how it's possible for a man to be broken in the next video, but this video isn't going to be about that. So the next video that I'm going to do will basically explain to you that how it's possible for someone to be broken, and then what can come of a broken man. You know, how he may be susceptible to having sex with something that he wouldn't ordinarily have sex with. You know, so what things can break a person and cause them to do that. But for this video here, we're just going to get into how a man may mistakenly find someone like a transgender, for example, attractive. You know, so I'm just here to clear that up, but at the same time clear up the misconception of, you know, because I saw this video where this person saying that it's okay for men, if a man goes with a transgender, then they're still straight and things like that. What I'm trying to tell you is that that's not true. That's not true. And what I'm trying to do is explain it. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is this, is that imagine that my friends walk through my door right now, and imagine that I had some drawings in here. Imagine that I had 3 pages of kind of like, let's say it was kind of like manga drawings, right? They were kind of like manga girls, and let's assume that they had big breasts, and let's assume that they had really tiny shorts, yeah, and their bottoms were sticking out. So let's assume the first page was like that, and then let's assume that the second page was a little bit more pornographic. Okay, it might be a big woman with spread eagle on the bed, you know, seductive look on her face. That's the second. Remember, this is like a cartoon head, so this is like this ain't like a photograph. This is a cartoon. I've drawn a nice picture. Let's assume the third picture is maybe that same character, whatever, having sex. Now let's assume that a friend came through my door. Okay. They've come through the door, they've said, "What's up, how's it going, blah blah blah." They've looked down, they've seen this picture, and they've gone, Damn. Okay. Damn, I didn't know you could draw like that. But really in their mind they're thinking, damn, this girl looks alright. Even though she's a cartoon. Yeah, and then they switch to the second page. And now she's spread eagle and they think, okay, whew. And now they look at the third page where the cartoon's actually having sex now. And maybe they may even get a bit of a boner. They might get an erection. So the first thing we need to ask ourselves is why? Why are they getting an erection from a drawing? That's the first one. So hold the thought, okay? Now let's assume that there's a second scenario. The second scenario is basically, let's imagine now that I was... Right, so let's assume that the second scenario is I walked into my friend's... Yeah, I walked into my friend's house. All of a sudden, I looked down on his sofa and oh no, let's forget it was a sofa. Let's assume that I was sitting down on my friend's sofa and it was next to his wardrobe, right? One of my friends. Let's assume that I was speaking, but you know some guys get animated and their hands all over the place and they're moving over the place and they're talking. Let's assume that I banged the wardrobe and all of a sudden some blow up doll jumped, you know, just literally fell on me and I was like, oh, what the hell is this? And imagine one of my friends goes, "That's my girlfriend." And I said, "What?" And he said, "That's my girlfriend, Sally." And I was like, "Sally? Okay. So it looks like a doll to me, kind of thing. She's not a doll. She's a real person. Sally's a real person." Now imagine I said to that friend, "Alright, that's cool. That's so cool." Now imagine that maybe my friend sat up his girlfriend and said, "I've been meaning to introduce you to Sally. It's been such a long time now." Imagine he sat the doll up. Okay. Imagine he even opened up some plug and he... And all of a sudden Sally became inflated. Okay. Now he places Sally right beside me and he says to me, "I just gotta go down the shop for a minute. You and Sally can get acquainted. Is that okay?" And I say, "Okay, that's okay, that's cool. Me and Sally will get acquainted, right?" So let's assume that he goes down the road, Sally's sitting down there. Now let's assume that when I look over at Sally, Sally's got some robust breasts. She's got... Let's assume that he spent a bit of money on the doll. Let's put it that way. Okay? Forget the fact that she was being blown up. I was joking around at that. Let's assume that the thing fell out the wardrobe and it's one of them expensive £3,000 dolls. Now the point I'm trying to make to you isn't the fact that, oh, I would try to have sexual intercourse with the doll. That's not what I'm getting at. That wouldn't happen. What I'm trying to say to you is that let's imagine that if this thing did fall out on me, he's told me about the doll's name Sally, he's gone out, he's sat the doll beside me. Let's assume that this doll now is lifelike. Yeah, it's got breasts on it, it's got nice thighs on it, you know, it looks attractive. Let's assume that as he's gone, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, damn, you know what? It doesn't actually look bad, to be honest with you. I mean, it's not my cup of tea. I wouldn't touch the thing. But I can understand that he's actually spent a bit of money on this. I can understand how someone could do it. I can understand the possibility of it. I myself wouldn't do it, but I can understand the possibility of him making love to Sally. It being his girlfriend and everything else is going a little bit, tad bit too far. But I can understand the possibility of him making love to Sally. Okay. Why would I be able to understand it? So we've gone with the first scenario of the picture of the manga. Alright, now we've gone for the second scenario of a blow up doll. Okay, or not a blow up doll, or an expensive loved or whatever they want to class it as these days. Why would I fathom the fact that it was acceptable for him to have sex with a love doll? Why would that come into right, now this is the third scenario. Now I want you to think of the third scenario. Imagine the third scenario now, that imagine that same friend. I walk around his house, say 5-6 months later. Imagine this time now, I see something like Sally sitting in the corner. I say, oh, you've got another doll. But all of a sudden this time, as I go to touch the thing, it moves. And it turns around and it says, I'm not Sally, you idiot. I'm his real girlfriend, I'm Julie. And I said, okay, you're Julie. And the thing says, yeah, I'm Julie. Now as I look at the thing, I want you to imagine this carefully now. As I look at the thing, okay, it has breasts, it has what appears to be a bottom, it has makeup on, it has long hair like a female, it practically looks like a female. This time I'm thinking to myself, damn, John is going to step up. He's actually found himself a real woman now. He's found himself a girl. Okay. Let's imagine that. I don't know. How can we expand on this scenario now? Let's imagine that I was talking to Janet, whatever he wants to call his new girlfriend, right? We know it's a living person this time. I was speaking to Janet, and then all of a sudden I say something that interrupts, that upsets Janet, and all of a sudden Janet's voice changes, and Janet goes, "What you talking about, Willis?" Like that, and all of a sudden, the same Janet that I'm talking to, her voice suddenly changes. So first of all, I'm sitting down with this thing, and it looks beautiful, it looks feminine, and I say something that maybe upset her, and all of a sudden a voice from out of nowhere goes, "What you talking about, Willis?" Like that. From that kind of like Arnie from Different Strokes. And I turn around and I go, "Did you hear that?" And Janet goes, "Yeah, what? I didn't hear anything." And I say, "There was something sounded like a man just 5 seconds ago. Something about what you talking about, Willis, or something. You didn't hear that?" And the thing goes, "I don't know what you're talking about. I do remember you said something about the LGTB 5 seconds ago." And I said, yeah, I was just saying that some of them believe that they can use both toilets. And then imagine now that the same girl, her voice suddenly changes, and she looks at me and she goes, "That's what I thought you said. See, I got a problem with you speaking like that." And imagine I jump back and I go, whoa. You're a dude. And imagine the shock on my face now. I've sat down there. What I thought was a beautiful looking woman. It had breasts on it. It had a bottom on it. It had a beautiful face. It had long hair. When I was talking to it, I was even kind of, I was engaged with it like I would a female. I may even have been, sexually attracted to it. Okay, would that suddenly mean that me as a straight man, that I now want to have sex with transgendered women? Would that suddenly mean that? Now if we go back to scenario A, scenario B and scenario C, what I want you to think about is, what do all three of them have in common? Think about it. The answer is simple. All three of them appear to be women. And as a man, I'm attracted to women. Okay, let's assume that even when that person said, "What you talking about, Willis?" like that, and I realized it was a man, imagine that when I was looking at it, it genuinely looks like a female. So imagine that even when they're saying that, there's a possibility that even as they're talking like a man, my brain is still confused. It's saying, wait a minute, but you look like a really attractive female, but you're sounding like a man. So my brain is kind of confused. You know, it's almost like someone talking like a man, but kind of trying to tease you like a woman. It's your brain just doesn't seem to understand it. But anyway, so this I'm going to get into the second video, and we're going to clear up a few more things. All right, peace. See you around in the second video.